You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Tuesday, the 21st of May. India and Pakistan observe day of mourning for Iran President Ibrahim Raisi. Sri Lanka pledges to safeguard India's security, address concerns over Chinese vessels. And Afghan businesswomen feel the squeeze under Taliban restrictions. And now for all the details. India and Pakistan observed a day of mourning as a mark of respect to the Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash on Sunday. The charred wreckage of the helicopter was also carrying Foreign Minister Hussein Amir Abdollahian and 6 other passengers. India's national flag was seen at half-mast at the Indian Parliament and Presidential Palace and government buildings. Similarly, in Pakistan, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif visited the Iranian embassy in Islamabad to offer condolences to Ambassador Raza Amiri Muqaddam. Pakistan also half-mast the country's flag as a mark of respect to the dead. Pakistani locals also expressed condolences and described Raisi's death as a great loss. Raisi had been tipped as a potential successor to the supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei.
ईरानी सदर की बेवक्त मौत से हमें बड़ा नुकसान पहुंचा है, इस्लामी दुनिया को नुकसान पहुंचेगा। बिलखुसूस पाकिस्तान अभी वो हाली में आए और बेशुमार माहदे हुए थे जिससे तजारती राहें खुलने की उम्मीदें थी, मगर जाहिर सी बात है उनकी मौत के बाद वो सिलसिला बरकरार नहीं रखा जा सकेगा। लिहाजा मैं समझता हूँ ये सिर्फ ईरान का नहीं बल्कि इस्लामी दुनिया का एक नुकसान है और अजीम नुकसान है।
India on Monday arrested 4 Sri Lankan nationals suspected to be operatives of the Islamic State militant group from western Ahmedabad city. The 4 accused have been identified as Mohammad Nusrat, Mohammad Faris, Mohammad Nafra and Mohammad Razdeen, all citizens and residents of Sri Lanka. They were allegedly plotting to carry out terror attacks at the behest of Pakistan-based handler. In a statement, a top Gujarat police official said the apprehended Lankan nationals were completely radicalized by the ISIS ideology. He added the individuals had members of BJP and its parent organization RSS on target and also wanted to teach a lesson to Jews and Christians for committing atrocities against Muslims. The arrest comes days ahead of the high-profile sporting events in the city and amid the gigantic elections in the country. And Sri Lanka on Monday affirmed its commitment to safeguard India's national security and said Colombo, as a responsible neighbor, will not let anybody harm India's security. Addressing concerns regarding visit of China's research vessels in Sri Lanka, Foreign Minister Ali Sabri said that the island nation would like to work with other countries in a transparent manner, but not at the cost of others. Last year, India had expressed its security concerns over the docking of the vessel at the Sri Lankan port, as it was shown as a research vessel with the capability of mapping the ocean bed, which is critical to anti-submarine operations in the Chinese Navy. Moving on, activists in POJK have lambasted the stooge authorities in the occupied region for mishandling the ongoing crisis, which led to violent clashes during a protest earlier this month. A report.
Political activists in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir have lambasted the Prime Minister of POJK, Anwarul Haq, for mishandling the crisis in the region after at least 3 people and a police official were killed during protests earlier this month. An alliance of civil rights groups called off their protests following several days of turmoil after Pakistan PM Shehbaz Sharif approved a grant of 24 billion rupees to help meet most of their demands, which included subsidies on flour and electricity prices. Activist Raja Amin said it would have been better if these issues had been resolved earlier.
बात ये थी कि यहाँ बिजली, पानी और आटे का और जिस पे रियासत को 48 अशिया यूएनओ में सब्सिडी दी गई, उन की बात थी कि बिजली हमें हमारी कास्ट है, यानी कि बिजली रियासत की मलकियत है, वो दौर पे 59 पैसे कास्ट बनती है और हमें वापसी पे 50-60 रुपए की यूनिट बन रही थी। इस पे बात की गई जो मुतनाज़ा बात ना थी और लोगों के हकूक़ की बात थी, जिस पे बात की गई। तो इस मौजूदा वज़ीर-ए-आज़म, ये जो नाम नहाद वज़ीर-ए-आज़म अनवारुल हक बैठा है, इसने इसको मिस हैंडल किया और लोगों से झूठ बोला। झूठ बोल के उसने इससे पहले 2 बार माहदे किए।
Locals in POJK say they are fed up of Pakistan government and the stooge authorities in the region, which are only there to fill their treasuries through heavy taxes, while they continue to suffer for even basic amenities.
Moving on, while the Afghan economy has continued to deteriorate, female-led businesses are facing a series of problems accessing capital and markets while facing restrictions by the Taliban. A report.
When the Taliban took power in 2021, veteran NGO worker Forozan Kohistani lost her job and had to look for another career. She eventually found herself starting her own business, a cake factory, which she had hoped would provide a much-needed lifeline for Afghan women who were unable to find work under the restrictions imposed by the new Taliban regime. Taking out a loan of 350,000 Afghanis, Kohistani was able to build up her factory's production and hire 15 women and 5 men in 2022. In the beginning, they made around 100,000 Afghanis per month, but with the economy deteriorating, after just 1 year, the monthly income decreased by 50%, and Kohistani's business is now on the verge of bankruptcy.
ورشکست شویم، سقوط کنه، پیش بردیش نتانیم، دیگه هیچ کدام را نداریم جز نامیدی، جز اینمی که دچار افسردگی شویم، دچار مریضی شویم. امی دختر خانم‌ها یگانه امیدشان همیشه است که میاین کار میکنن. اینا شاید دچار بسیار افسردگی شوند، دچار مریضی‌های شوند که دست به گدایی بزنن بعضشان.
Kohistani tried to apply for another loan 2 months ago, but got rejected by the bank because she is still paying off the previous one. Her employees are worried closing of the factory would leave them with no other option but to beg.
خب اول خونه باید ما وظیفه خود دست بتیم، به خاطر که اگر ما وظیفه خود دست بتیم در خانه بشینیم چی کار کنیم دیگه. بعضی خانم‌ها هست که تا فامیلشان مثلا پدر ندارن، بیادرشان نیست، یا خود دختر خانم‌ها یا چی خانم‌ها باشه خودشان نانآور خانه می باشن دیگه. برای زیاد مشکل جدی خلق میشه، مجبور هستن اینا گدایی کنن.
The Taliban have not formally banned women from work, but have barred many female-aid workers, shuttered beauty salons, and limited women's movement and work in many institutions without a male guardian. That has caused female formal employment, already low even before the Taliban took over in 2021, to plummet. However, some female entrepreneurship has continued, and some Taliban officials, including the Commerce Minister, have said their administration wants to support female businesses, many of which employ women in carpet weaving, handicrafts, dried fruit, and saffron production.
The United States on Monday announced sanctions against former Bangladesh Army Chief General Aziz Ahmed and his family members as it accused Aziz of undermining Bangladesh democratic institutions. In a statement issued late on Monday evening, U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said Ahmed was engaged in significant corruption by interfering in public processes while helping his brother evade accountability for criminal activity in Bangladesh. This designation reaffirms the U.S. commitment to strengthening democratic institutions and rule of law in Bangladesh, he added. Reacting to the sanction, Bangladesh Foreign Minister Hassan Mahmood has said the country's diplomatic mission in U.S. were made aware of the curb against the former army chief and added that the ban of his entry was not made under the new visa policy. Aziz Ahmed served as army chief from 2018 till his retirement in 2021. A report by media outlet Al Jazeera had alleged Ahmed used his authority to shield his brother, 3 of whom were convicted in killing of a political rival in Bangladesh. Rift has further increased between Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal and the Nepali Congress as the opposition party continues its protest against his government. While the Premier warned the Nepali Congress of dire consequences for trying to disrupt the proceedings, the opposition has labelled the Monday's proceedings as undemocratic and authoritarian. The Nepali Congress said a new negative precedent was set on Monday, where the Prime Minister and Speaker went ahead with vote of confidence despite protest as they stood in the well, raising their demands. The progressive constitution which we have adopted is being disowned by the members of the ruling alliance. They are on the way to weaken the constitution, Prakash Sharan Mehet, spokesperson of Nepali Congress, said following the parliament proceeding. The opposition also raised concern about the conduct of the speaker and said he worked like a loyal party worker. The Nepali Congress has been protesting against the government since the start of the budget session and has said it will harden its position and will also unite other opposition parties against the government.
प्रधानमन्त्रीले विश्वासको मत आजै लिनुपर्ने कुनै कारण थिएन। त्यसका बावजुद आजै उहाँले चाहिँ दिने निर्णय गर्नुभयो। जबरजस्ती यो संसदको इतिहासमा कहिल्यै पनि विश्वासको मत विपक्षी दलहरू वेलमा आएको अवस्थामा संसदमा आफ्ना कुराहरू राखेर विरोध गरिरहेको अवस्थामा कहिले पनि विश्वासको मत दिएको अवस्था छैन। त्यसकारण यो संसदीय इतिहासमै यो अनौठो नजिर उहाँले चाहिँ स्थापित गर्नुभएको छ र यो संविधान जुन लामो सङ्घर्षपछि नेपाली जनताले हामीहरूले ल्याएका छौँ, संविधान स्थापित गरेका छौँ, त्यसको खिलाफमा स्वयं यो गठबन्धनका दलहरू चाहिँ लागेका छन् र यसलाई कमजोर गर्ने प्रक्रियामा उहाँहरू सहयोगी भइरहनु भएको छ र यो सहकारी प्रकरणमा त
That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.